The next point in this chapter is the agencies of regulate hazardous chemical storage. First is OSA. OSA, that means Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Second is the National Fire Protection Association. Third is the Environmental Protection Agency. Fourth is the Department of Transportation. Last is the Material Safety Data Sheet. Material Safety Data Sheet, printed material which provide the detailed health and safety information and precautions for handling hazardous substances, including emergency and first aid procedure. Then MSDS information, what is the meaning of MSDS? And they can be worked in this chapter. They identify of the chemicals. Next is physical and chemical characteristic. Third is the physical hazardous. Last is the chemical hazardous. Control measures, emergency procedure, precaution for safe handling and use. Date of preparation. The labels of NFPA diamond. So what is the number show? O, that means no hazardous. 1 is slight hazard. 2 is dangerous. 3 is extreme danger. 4 is deadly. Labels reactivity. What is the number show? 0 is the stable, 1 is the normally stable, 2 is the unstable, 3 is explosive, 4 is may detonate. Then the label special hazard. What is the letter show? Oxidizer, acid, ALK alkali, COR corrosive, W is used no water, and then radioactive. National Fire Protection Association hazardous classification is the health, water, flammability and reactivity. The next point is transporting chemicals. If chemicals are transferred to a second container, make sure the new container is labeled with the chemical name. Use secondary containers with handle made of rubber, plastic or metals. Secondary container should be large enough to contain all of the chemical contents. Make sure the pathway is clear of obstruction and stripping hazardous. Plan ahead for spills. Transport only the quantity needed to complete the work. Use sturdy carts when transporting heavy containers or transporting over long distances. Next point is hazardous waste. Minimize waste in the first place. Do not pour a chemical waste down the drain. Know your chemical classification. Use flame resistance container with label. Don't leave funnel on top of waste container. Use proper mercury disposal. Call for pickup. Next is fire safety. A general fire emergency procedure is to be posted in the laboratory. Fire extinguishers must be available in the laboratory. Third is training in the use of portable fire extinguishers. Next is the flammables and combustibles. University guidelines are to be followed regarding combustible material and storage cabinet flammable liquid that must be refrigerated only in. Laboratory date of explosion. Refrigerate squid, moms, 3 volatile liquids are to be stored away from the sources of heat or electrical spark and sunlight. Flammable or combustible material may only be heated using the appropriate laboratory appliances. Open flame devices are not be utilized in areas where flammable or combustible liquids or gases are in use. Next is safety precaution, fire extinguishers. Know the location of emergency equipment. Be aware of the hazards posed by the work of others in the laboratory. Others in the laboratory aware of any specific hazards associated with your work. Next is compressed gases, cryogens. Then compressed gases is the content of all gas cylinders must be legibly identified. Fuel gases and oxygen cylinders must be stored separated. All gas cylinders should be secured against falling by the use of appropriate clamps and brackets. Appropriate regulators are to be used to control the gas flow from cylinders. Wall protection caps should be in a place when cylinders are not in use and also during the transport. Empty and full gas cylinder should be stored separately. B is the cryogens. Substance used produce very low temperature. Cryogens, liquefy gases or dry ice solid CO2 are to be used only in well ventilated areas. Next is the cryogenic fluids should be used and transported in appropriate containers. 3 is the personnel should not accompany as a cause unconscious or death by the suffocation in a elevator. Diogens tubing must not be used to carry cryogens. Next point is the disposal of chemicals. Must follow waste disposal manual. All waste containers must be properly segregated and clearly marked regarding contents, hazardous and other pertinent information. Waste material are not allowed to accumulate excessive in the laboratory. Needles and broken glassware are to be segregated in appropriately labeled containers. Chemicals are prohibited from being disposed of through the sanitary sewer system. Liquids and solids, organic waste must be segregated. Inorganic liquid waste should be segregated from other waste material. Next is the chlorinated solvent waste should be segregated from non-chlorinated solvent waste. The next point in this chapter is the disposal of laboratory waste to sanitary sewer. Chemical waste generated from their activities is disposal of property. Some materials can be safely let into the sanitary sewer and other can cause a damage to health, environment or the functioning of the wastewater plant. Acceptable discharge to the sanitary sewer. Non-hazardous, safe, water-soluble solution, for example, NaCl, sucrose, glucose, urea. Small amount of dilute acids or bases can neutralize to appropriate pH with the sodium bicarbonate, that means baking soda. Very small amount of water-soluble solvent resulting from glassware, cleaning acetone or ethanol in amount less than 5 ml. Collection is recommended if possible. Unacceptable discharges to the sanitary sewer. Water insoluble solvent including the hexanes, paint thinner, turpentine, materials, spirit oils, greases and paints. Pickling solution, strong acids or bases without neutralization, anything substance that meets hazardous waste criteria. Next point is thermal treatment. The two main thermal treatment used with regard to hazard wastes are: first is incineration, second is the pyrolysis. Then first process is the incineration. Then what is the meaning of incineration? Burning of mixed solid waste in a properly designed furnace under suitable temperature and operating conditions. The process consists of controlled burning of waste at high temperature is at 12,000 to 15,000 degrees Celsius. The next process is the pyrolysis. And what is the meaning of pyrolysis? This is defined as the chemical decomposition or change brought about heating in the absence of oxygen. This is a thermal process for transformation of solids and liquid carbonaceous material into gaseous component and the solid residue containing fixed carbon and ash. This is a two-step process. First step is the wastes are heated separating the volatile container, and the second step is the volatile component are burned under proper condition to assure the incineration of all hazardous component, and this is defined as the chemical decomposition or change brought about by heating in the absence of oxygen. Then the pyrolysis of organic substances produces a gas and solid products and leaves solid residue richer in the carbon content. Pyrolysis it can be used heavily in the chemical industry. For example, to produce a charcoal, activated carbon, methanol and other chemicals. The next point is the reuse and recycling chemical resources. After doing as much as possible to minimize waste generation through the source reduction. The next most preferable options are recycling and reuse. Then the people tend to avoid the recovery efforts because of the cost involved, but can be recovered at cost lower than the cost of disposal. The next is the reusing and recycling. Reuse and recycling can occur at a number of points in the chemical use cycle. Then first is recovery in process, second is the chemical exchange, third is solvent recovery, fourth is metal recovery. Then first process they can be easily explained. Then they design a series of closed loop experiment where the byproduct of one experiment becomes the reactant of the next experiment. At the end of the series, the byproduct of the final experiment are available to the next set of the student to start the process all over again. The next process is the chemical exchange. Then finding a use of surplus open containers of chemicals is a good way to avoid having to dispose of them as waste. In many cases, the laboratories or other users may be able to use these chemicals even though they have a lower purity exchange with them. The next process is the solvent recovery, that means reuse. If you regularly generate spent solvents, recovery can be very cost effective as well as the environmentally sound. Spent solvents that are properly segregated can be easily distilled in-house to the high purity that will allow the multiple reuse of the same batch of solvent. Some exceptional are peroxide forming solvent, for example diethyl ether, tetrahydrofuran, dioxins, etc., which should not be distilled. The next is the metal recovery. Many heavy metals have been largely phased out chemistry experiment, although the mercury, silver and other may still be used. The first is the precious metal like silver can be reprocessed more commonly than mercury. For example, experiment is the recovery of a silver. Ag++ of NaCl, it gives AgCl plus of Na+. Then next reaction is the AgCl. It reacts with zinc or H2SO4. It gives Ag plus soluble zinc salt.